When homes and cars are constructed in areas that are prone to floods and storms, they can become vulnerable to damage and collapse. It is a devastating occurrence that causes significant harm to individuals and communities. Watch until the end and let us know thoughts in the comment section. Let's get it on. Belgian TV station VTM recorded the partial collapse of a house in the town of Pepinster while interviewing its mayor, Philippe Godin. On Thursday, the back wall of the flooded house began to cave in as he spoke, with the situation deteriorating quickly as furniture and other household goods fell through the collapsing floors. Moments later, cameras caught two people jumping from the roof of the house into a neighboring building. Finally, watching terror as their house collapses into floodwaters amid record rains in southern China. The situation is really bad here. Severe floods in Germany has collapsed many cars like this. At least 6 people have died and more than 30 are missing following the collapse of several homes after heavy rain triggered the severe flooding in western Germany. A terrifying moment. China's state broadcaster CCTV showed footage of an old house collapsing in the flood water as its foundations were washed away. Were evacuated from Shangqiu village in China's Guangdong province after heavy rain triggered flooding, destroying crops, roads and homes.
Same.
This is the moment a house was pulled into raging flood waters near Yellowstone National Park. All entrances to the park were blocked off as roads and bridges were engulfed in water. Over 10,000 visitors have been evacuated from the park. The destruction was caused by heavy rains and snowmelt. The regions of Guangxi and Hunan have been badly hit by heavy rains, forcing over 200,000 people to seek emergency shelter due to flooding. More than 1,300 houses have been destroyed, with initial damage being estimated in excess of $500 million. Shocking moment: house collapses into river in China during deadly floods. Homes under construction collapse in Calvestone by Hurricane Delta. A building collapses into the ocean as tropical storm Nicole nears Florida's eastern coast. Another home in Rodanthe, North Carolina, collapsed into the ocean by storm. The one-story house was located on East Point Drive, which is close to the North Carolina highway toward roundabout that leads to the Jug Handle Bridge. A wall destroys a house in Indonesia after collapsing due to heavy rain and flash floods. California, the latest storm packing wind-blown rain and snow threatened to bring more flooding to the already soaked state. Cars, crops underwater as storms pummel.
Flooding has killed at least 57 people in Niger. Months of heavy rains have destroyed homes and businesses in the West African state. Tens of thousands of people have been displaced. Niger is still recovering from the damage caused by floods last year. Imagine losing everything again after fleeing war for thousands of refugees. This is a reality after being displaced again by flood in Niger. Many are at risk of malaria, cholera, and others, but the situation is likely to worsen as heavy rain continue. In fact, the situation is made worse by poor preparedness on the part of citizens and concerned authorities despite warnings. Lives and property across countries, especially in coastal states, are under threat owing to ravaging floods that have left scores either dead or homeless, and this failure of the governments to take preventive measures. The severity of the floods is such that the gathering of clouds now signal danger and sends shivers down to spine of many. Flash floods hit many areas in Africa that has huge negative impact on built natural environment as well as all living things, including human.
Chaos at 215 kilometers per hour. Cyclonic storm Taukte in Gujarat, India on May 70th, 2021. This is the first named storm of the 2021 North Indian Ocean. The strong wind blew the conjugated iron roofs off and suddenly fell onto the road. Luckily, no one was hurt. The trees swayed endlessly in the fierce wind. Foliages were torn and torn.
Everything was washed away with the flood. Now they have no toilet, no water, no electricity, and no food. The death toll from South Africa's unprecedented floods has risen to nearly 400. So terrible. Maybe it's time for the nation of South Africa to ask God for forgiveness. May God help the people affected and to those that have lost loved ones. The flood has passed. The people here have to face another equally difficult battle: clean water and rebuilding the houses destroyed by the floods. One sympathetic comment said, "So sad news to our neighborhood. May Almighty God comfort the deceased." Nigeria, been the giant of Africa and the most populated country in Africa as well, got beautiful cities and people, but bad government is ruining everything. So bad.
This is not weather disaster, but later God's anger on this earth that is full of hatred. We are talking about scary storm moments that caught on camera all over Asia. If you're truly impressed with Flash Storm, don't leave the screen and press button of like, subscribe, and comment your thought to us now. Now, let's go. The storm wind tore the walls, the roofs were blown off, trees uprooted and fell down. This was incredible storm destroyed Jinan City, Shandong. Storm convective weather has appeared in Deozu, Laoqing, Jinan, Taiyan, and Zibo. Storm thunder and lightning. Local strong winds above grade 11 and hail from grade 9 to 10. Affected by the cold vortex, there will be strong convective weather in Shandong in the next 3 days. Shandong experienced a variety of severe convective weather conditions under the influence of the cold maelstrom this afternoon. Among them, a strong wind at a speed of 39.9 meters per second originated in Zhangju, Jinan, which is equivalent to level 13, breaking the local historical record for maximum wind speed, original record 30.1 meters per second. Affected by the cold vortex, there will be strong convective weather in Shandong in the next 3 days. This was the strongest cyclone ever found in Odisha 2019, India. And IT equipment of this construction site was blown away by the wind and toppled over the opposite building. Not sure if there are any casualties. Everything turned into chaos in the howling wind, the screams. One passenger car was blown upside down by the wind. At this point, the building not only flew off the roof, it also broke the link block and the top floor broke and fell to the streets. The glass door also opens and closes by itself and breaks.
Please.
Violent storm hits Shalam, Malaysia, January 27, 2022. 10 vehicles were destroyed after a thunderstorm and strong winds wreaked havoc in Sexian 13 p.m. The strong wind was accompanied by rain and hail. Eyewitnesses say that such a storm was seen for the first time in more than 20 years of life there. The storm that hit was not very long, but quite strong, like a tornado. Due to strong winds, part of the roof from the second floor of the administrative building collapsed in the university complex. Strong winds also tore off the roof of a supermarket parking lot and damaged 8 cars. Luckily, no one was hurt in both incidents. Several power poles collapsed, resulting in power outages in part of the city. The wreckage after the storm is terrible.
At least 22 people have been killed by heavy rains and floods, and dozens of others injured since the start of the season. More than 1,000 homes have been destroyed across Chad country. Plus, more than 340,000 people have been affected by floods in Chad since the end of June. Heavy rains have been affecting this landlocked Central African country for several weeks. A drought followed by heavy rains in Chad has left little grazing land of herd of cattle, leaving them malnourished. This is putting the country's nomad community, which depends on milk production, at the risk of losing everything. What do you think about this kind of natural disasters? Do not forget to subscribe, like, and comment here. Thanks for watching.